Okay, we are going live. So, on today's Time Flies with Jody, we are going to tie the smiley faced popper. This is a little popper I came up with. It's kind of a little gimmicky, granted, but these colors, the bright yellow, the eyes, and the tail with the sparkle with the yellow and the red, the fish come up and eat it pretty good. So it has a smiley on the top and a smiley on the back. And I don't know how much it really pops. It just kind of lands on the water, and then when you retrieve it, it kind of got like a little scooty action. Not necessarily a popping action, although I did call it a popper because it is very top waterish. So let me take this one out of the vise, and I'm going to put a number size 4 straight hook into the vise, like so. And we will take our thread. I'm using clear nylon thread. I really like it. I usually get it at Fabricland. You can order it online. I pay about $6.99 for it. Sometimes it goes on sale for half price, which is fantastic. I try to buy it then when it's on sale. And basically, we want to cover our hook from the eye of our hook down to, I'd say, around where the point is on our hook. You don't need to go past on this one. And the first thing we're going to need is some marabou-like feathers. I get these feathers off of feather boas, which I usually buy at the dollar store. So I usually pick a section off. I'll pinch it in my fingers, just pull out any loose fibers, throw them in the garbage. And then I'll take my scissors, and I like to trim off the end. Throw that in the garbage. And then I will pinch it down and tie it in. All right. And as a reference point to where to tie it in, you want it just below where the circle is going to be of foam. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to take some red feather from a feather boa, some marabou-ish. And we're going to get a little piece of that. Not quite as much and quite as thick, because you really just want this to be sort of like an accent color. And we're going to tie this a little higher, a couple millimeters higher, because we want it to just kind of blend into the yellow. We don't want it to take over or be on top of the yellow. We want the yellow to still be the predominant color on the back. So once you tie it in, you do about 3 wraps, snip it off. Most materials, if you tie them in, if you do 3 wraps, they're pretty good. They're pretty snug. Next thing we're going to use is some yellow crystal flash. And I'm going to fold it in half. I took a strand of that, 1 strand, and I'm going to fold it in half and cut it. And then I'm going to fold it in half again. Line up the tips. And then we're going to hold it into the tail. You want to have it just below where the end of the marabou is. And we're going to tie that down. And I like it to be really flashy, so I'm going to grab the other end and I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to tie that down. And then I'm going to trim off the tips, even with the other tips. So now you've got a really flashy looking fly. All right. So this is pretty good as it is. And I'll just take my thread, I'll wrap it up to the front. And believe it or not, we can just tie it off with our half hitches, cinch it down, trim our line. Beautiful. So the next thing we're going to need is some sort of a board or cutting surface. And you're going to need some yellow foam. So we'll put this down flat on our surface. And you want some sort of a surface. It could be the cap, it could be the body of the tube, it could be this tube, but you want it to be some sort of thin tube to make the size of your smiley face. And what you're going to do is you're going to push it down into the foam. And it's going to make that little indent. And you're going to need 2 of those. 1, 2, but I'm going to make a couple since I'm doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to make about 3 of those flies. So I made 6 of those little circles. And I'm just going to cut straight across my foam. Then I can put my foam down. And I can cut out those little circles into little sections. Beautiful. Now, with your scissors, you can just go right into the indent of the foam. And cut your circle out. And then the extra foam you can use for extra parts on little smaller flies. So we're going to need 2 of those for this fly. Like so. Okay. And if you see that it's a little uneven in any parts, like you get when a little off track, you can just trim that up. So what we're going to do is take our crazy glue and we're going to hold our circle up to the fly below the eye. And I want my vise to be straight up and down. So we're going to apply our crazy glue all around that little circle. And then we're going to take our second circle, line it up with the first circle, and we're going to pinch it down. Like so. Pretty simple, pretty simple. And if it's any parts that are sticking up a little, you can go back in there with your glue. Just apply a little glue, pinch it down. Bob's your uncle. There you go. So, of course, you could take this like this and just fish it like that. And I'm sure it would be fantastic. But now to make it that nice smiley face pattern, what you want to do is you want to take a black Sharpie and on the top you want to draw your little eyes of your smiley. So there's one eye. Space it out evenly and put your other eye. All right. So now you got the two eyes. And then of course you want to draw your smiley mouth. Like so. And on the bottom side, you want to flip it over and you want to do the exact same thing. So you want to do one eye, two eyes, and what's kind of cool is that your smiley is on both sides. So when the fish sees it, of course, it's going to swim across looking like that, and you're going to see it swimming across looking like that. So you get to see the smiley, the fish get to see the smiley. So that's really kind of cool. But it is gonna float hook down. So, but either way, those fish are going to see that, and they're going to see that nice reflective shiny marabou. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is go around the outside border of the two circles with your Sharpie. And you just want to go around and cover all the way around the circle with black. And then I like to just go a little bit in with the black to make the circle. Now, of course, if you're tying this fly, it does take practice to get straight. And as you can see on this one side here, I did go in a little far, but that's okay. You can rest assured that if you're not Picasso, the fish are not going to not bite this fly because of that. So I got this side done and I got this side done. So that's just going to look at you like, wee. Okay. So there's going to be a couple more steps. We're going to need this yellow marker, but not quite yet. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your fly in your vise. And you're going to need to have a steady hand when you do this. So take your clear nail polish, either Sally Hansen's or Sinful Colors, and you're going to gently, you're going to wipe it off so it's almost dry, but just wet enough that when you touch the black, you just want to touch the black where you did black. You don't want to cover the whole thing, because what's going to happen is if you just went on and covered the whole thing with nail polish, it is going to smudge the black all over your work, all over your painting. And you don't want that to happen. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go along the edges of that fly, and you're going to just gently dab the edges. All right. And if you happen to, by accident, get any on there, you can take your paper towel and gently dab it off. It's a little tricky, and you have to be a bit of an artist to do this, but that's basically what it's going to look like. And then while that one's drying, you flip over your vise and you repeat the same steps on the other side. And of course, because I'm showing you guys, I went a little fast, so it's not going to be 100% perfect. Usually when you do it not on camera, that's when it's always the best, you know? But that seems to be with almost every fly. Okay. So that is what you're going to do. Now, when you make this, you're going to need it to dry, so you can put it off to the side. In this particular case, I'll just put this one off to the side. And we have one of our finished ones here that we finished. But to show you the next step, what we will do at this point, after that dries, and you want to let it dry for 10 minutes or so before you do this next step, because you don't want any of that ink to smudge. So let's say that you've dried the eyes and you want to take your clear nail polish now and you want to go over the entire fly, over the sides, over the thing. Then you want to flip it over. You want to go over the front, over the top. And this will just prevent it from smudging. So by letting it dry, then you can go over it once it's fully dry, put a coat on, and it won't smudge anymore. Also, if you have UV resin, I hardly ever tie with UV resin. It's you can. There's a lot of flies that call for it. It's a bit expensive. I don't usually tie any of those flies. I'm not opposed to it. It's just a very expensive thing. So just know that most of my flies that I show you guys don't involve UV resin. Usually I put clear nail polish to do the same sort of job. The only difference is if you really want to make it strong so that it's indestructible, UV resin will do that because it will make a hard plastic bubble around it so that it'll seal it in there. Clear nail polish and crazy glue, they wear out. When you get them in water, they wear out. After a while, the eyes will pop off, you know. The good thing about crazy glue, if an eye pops off a fly, you go home, you put a new eye, you just put a new Google eye on or whatever, and it's still good to fish. If you do the resin, yes, those things won't pop off, but at some point, flies do wear down no matter how well you make them. Especially when you catch a lot of fish. Like a fly like this, you go out in the afternoon and catch 300 fish, it's going to get chewed up, even if it had resin on it. But my point is, in lieu of your nail polish, you could coat this thing with resin, hit it with the light, it dries real quick, and it'll be a little more protected. So if you're one of those guys who has UV resin, use it. And if you go out and fish with this pattern with UV resin, let me know how it is. Put it down in the comments. Leave me a comment saying, hey, the UV resin works great. And then I can recommend that to other guys as well. All right. So let's say this is all dried now. And again, you want to let that dry really, really dry before you do any more steps. But I'm going to put this one off to the side as well. And on this other one that I have also finished, once you have it dry, you want to take your marker, your yellow marker, and you want to go over the entire thing with yellow marker, a yellow Sharpie, top and bottom. All right. And what that's going to do is, as you can see, or I hope you can see the brightness on this compared to the dull of the yellow foam I'm using. It just helps that yellow on the foam to pop out. And you can buy different shades of yellow foam. Some are brighter than others. So if you have a really bright yellow foam, like a school bus yellow or a really bright yellow, you may or may not decide to go over it with a marker. But because this was a really dull colored foam, I wanted it to be this Sharpie marker brightness. So that's why I do that. And of course, once you color it with the marker, you don't have to wait. You can just go over one more time with your nail polish around the whole fly. Flip it over, do the other side. And always take your brush and wipe it off. You can dip it quickly into your nail polish and then wipe it again. And basically, then it's clear when you put it into your nail polish, it's clear. And you can brush it onto a marker color and dip it in really quick. It isn't going to put the tannins or the colors into your nail polish by just doing that and pulling it out real quick. But if you don't wipe off your brushes really, really well and let it sit, it will start to color your nail color, either browns or pinks or whatever color you use a lot of. It'll start overpowering and it won't be clear anymore. So just keep that in mind. But there you have it. And then once your fly dries, that's it. The Smiley popper. And it's a cute little novelty fly that happens to just work really well. So it will put a smile on your face. If you go out and catch 300 panfish in an afternoon, I catch a mixture of, yuck, I touched it on my hand. I catch a mixture of panfish, sunfish, rock bass, crappies, the whole gamut. I've had perch come up and take this. Bass have taken it. I've caught bass on it. It's just a fantastic little fun fly, and it will put a smile on your face. As you can see, it's about 20 minutes to tie one start to finish. Maybe a little longer if you're coating this and letting it dry properly and whatever. It might be a little less time, or a little more time. I had some previous ones just to go forward and show you the steps, but really, really let the in between coats, really let it dry. So if you have a device, or I have this which I've made up where I can just clip my flies in, let them, I can do 6 flies at a time and let them dry really well. You can clip that on your vise, you can clip it on your table, wherever you want to clip it. This is a really handy little tool. And if you're making a few of these, do one and then do the next step. And then by the time you get to the last one, if you do 4 or 5, you get to the end, the first one will be dry and you can do the next step. And if you do it like that, it'll just seem to go quicker and you can get more done at one time. So that's just a little handy dandy tip for you guys and gals. And yeah, so that's it. A short one. A little smiley popper. Makes a great gift for your other fly fishing buddies. If you I keep dropping it because I'm a butterfingers. I should probably just put it down till it dries, but I just want to show you guys. But yeah, makes a great gift for your other fly fishing friends, fly tying friends, and it's just a cute little pattern, friendly, fun, works. It's not very big, you know, and you can tie them up fairly easy. So I recommend it. And thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, hit the like button. If you have anything nice to say about it, comment it down in the bottom. If you tie it up and catch some fish, let me know. Make a comment in the comment section. I'd love to hear your fish stories. And if you go out and catch 300 fish in an afternoon like I do on it, I really want to hear about it because that will just be awesome. And yeah, let me know. If you have any negative comments, I really don't want to hear them. Some people just love to make negative comments. Some people love to, did you consider doing this? Did you consider doing this? No, I considered doing this because this was a pattern I designed in my head and I made it. And if you are one of those people who wants to make comments, then when I go live, make sure to come on and leave a chat with me and talk with me about it. And maybe if you want to design a fly with me, we can change up some flies. So, but anyways, I hope you guys like this. We're getting into, I think, August. We're in August 15th or something like that. So the fish are starting to hit topwater stuff pretty good. And this is one of those flies. So that's me. Hope you enjoy this video. And if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, check out some of my other videos. If you're watching this on Facebook, scroll down, check out some of my other videos. And you can always go to YouTube and watch this video. So yeah. All right, guys, that's me. Hope you enjoyed this one. Quick one. And I'll talk to you later. Fish on and tight lines.